Dear Pixie, you asked us, why do people get nightmares? There are several reasons why your dreamtime experience can consist of imagery and frequency that instills fear within the dreamtime traveler. One is to do with the fact that you are taking into your sphere or releasing from your sphere a toxic energy of some kind. This may be due to illness moving into, through, or out of your energetic sphere, or it may be because you have ingested food or liquid that is not in alignment with your current level of process. The other reason for fear-based imagery within dreamtime is that of a direct alert from the subconscious mind or higher self aspect, that aspect of you wanting you to sit up and take notice. When the imagery is repeated on several subsequent nights, this is especially important for you to take note. Another reason for fear-based imagery, or rather negative entities, and projections of negative entities within dreamtime, is to create the training ground for the spiritual warrior. Dreamtime and the dream dimension is a reality containing as many levels, dimensions, star systems, universes, and intelligences as the waking world. It is, in fact, a mirror of the waking world. Is it true that certain individuals advanced in astral projection can deliberately lay traps for astral travelers, and if you get trapped inside one of these traps, then you won't be able to return to your physical body? It is the case that trained adepts are able to create pockets within astral landscape to contain, divert, or block certain remote viewing and astral travelling space. This is done for many reasons, usually to shield information. Sometimes this is done maliciously, sometimes for protection, sometimes for physical sensation, as in fun and excitement, or to create feelings of power. However, this will not affect the astral traveller who moves within the higher realms of the astral plane, for when they travel through this level, they become master of their landscape and are able to recognize and bypass these pockets. Higher individuals working from love and service, wishing to protect their own psychic space, will not use pockets such as these that present as potential traps. Their own space will simply be unavailable to other travellers without permission, or they may be perceived as castles, bubbles, or clouds of light that cannot be penetrated and accessed. It may appear that astral trapping does take place when the traveller experiences the lower astral realms. Within these realms, sensations are experienced similar to those experienced within the physical realm when operating from human ego. When the traveller operates from pure of heart thought, service to others' mindset, and higher consciousness, they automatically enter the higher realms of the astral plane. However, there are also certain pockets even within the higher landscape that the astral body may become enclosed within. These are created by the astral traveller's own psyche and are never traps, as it were, for there will always be an exit point. That same exit point is available also to lower level astral travellers who have inadvertently found themselves within an enclosed space created by another. For the higher mind, therefore higher levels, are always accessible to the astral traveller if they can focus their thoughts and emotions into love light. These pockets within higher space are part of the astral traveller's own training ground and inner experience, reflecting and indeed creating matching experience within the waking world. Geometric structure within higher realms manifests as experience within the individual's own lifetime. The higher levels of the astral plane are a most aligned place, or should we say dimension, from which to create the fabric needed for physical manifestation. This creation takes place on many levels, but from your perspective, one can focus on two aspects of this creation, that of your own subconscious and that of the higher self. Both are one from our perspective, but they will appear as separate when working within the training ground of the astral plane. Usually the traveller hears a voice and is comforted by the presence of their own guide or angel. They may even meet, see, and communicate with these beings face to face, but ultimately this is a telepathic exchange. It is the connection with this higher self that gives you protection and guidance when exploring the astral realms. The constant presence of these guides bring a feeling of freedom and security. So, if you find yourself in a small space, which may appear like an enclosed box or hallway with thick cushioned walls, or perhaps a cage, cave, tunnel, or patch of thick overgrowth, there are many combinations, for the creation at this level is infinite. Regardless of the pocket or space having been created by your own self as training experience or deliberately by another, remember, there is always an exit point. The walls or boundaries will appear impenetrable, as in the traveller cannot pass their astral body through these barriers as they can usually with walls and doors in most areas of the astral plane. The metaphor here is an inaccessible area, which could be physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. It is for the traveller to ascertain the meaning of the metaphors within the astral space, and looking to oneself as the creator of the pocket rather than a deliberate trap laid by another is the advised point with which to start exploration and deciphering of the metaphoric astral code. When one finds oneself within the impenetrable enclosed space, the ideal emotion would be one of fascination, interest, and focused calm, which leads to the accessing of high-level creation. Over-the-top excitement or panic, fear, and anger can lead one away from the training landscape that is so important at that point to the traveller, and may block one's ability to remember that there is an exit point. When one is operating from high-level creation, one remembers that there is always an exit point, and that the astral body cannot be trapped. One exit point available that brings instant transportation is the interdimensional astral portal. So one at this point looks for a circle embedded into the floor or walls, or for a shimmering piece of astral space in mid-air. There will always be a portal as soon as one's consciousness becomes aware of the potential possibility of it, if one is operating from high-level creation. Fascination, interest, and focused calm within mind, love, light, service to others within heart leads to high-level creation in both dream space and waking reality. One would place their hand over the circle or shimmering piece of astral space and say, "Activate portal." Alternatively, one can ask the higher self to activate the portal. For manifestation purposes, activating the portal oneself brings empowerment and proactive stance into one's life. Asking the higher self brings connection to higher guidance, protection, and synchronicity into one's life. The higher self is simply another aspect of self from which to create. So, at this point within astral space, the portal will become activated. It will light up or vibrate, and one can pass safely through the portal to another dimension or level within astral space, or return to one's physical body. Whilst one is passing through the portal, one can create the destination themselves, or allow the dreamscape, the astral fabric, to design itself. Regarding not being able to return to one's physical body whilst astral travelling, this is simply not a choice available to you if it comes from the will of another or from the will of human ego. Only the adept who chooses this method as an exit point from the physical realm entirely can create this possibility. This would come from his own free will and will only be available after years of training within astral journeying. This is an entirely different subject, albeit related, and involves the conscious death process and, if chosen, conscious death to birth transfer. Therefore, in answer to your question, it is not the case that a trap can be laid in order to hold an astral body against its will and prevent it from returning to the physical body. It may feel as though this is the case, but when one operates within the higher realms, there is always an exit point. Remembering this creation technique is advised for all individuals preparing for dimensional shifting within the overall global ascension process. The astral levels are also shifting in their geometric makeup, just as is the physical level of planet Earth. Therefore, the training ground within the astral levels is one chosen aspect of your preparation for many individuals. Remembering that there is always an exit point, always an interdimensional portal available, will aid you in your journeying on all levels. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9,